boyfriend and I are really into kinky sex.
20 years now. Laugh and marvel at his lightning-quick mind. Williams is comedy in overdrive, smart, improvisational, original, and he's grown in the job. From stand-up to the 70s sitcom Mork and Mindy to movie roles that have shown remarkable depth and emotional range. Moscow on the Hudson, Good Morning Vietnam, Mrs. Doubtfire, The Birdcage, among many others, including Good Will Hunting, the 1997 film that brought him an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. In his latest film, Williams plays Patch Adams, a medical student who discovers the healing power of laughter.
My name is Dr. Phil.
Williams has been honing his comedic powers for years, including during frequent appearances as a talk show guest. He's turned the format into a fun house over the years, plugging his movies while daring interviewers to keep up, laughing all the way. He's done it plenty of times on NBC. We've collected some of the best, funniest appearances, especially for this episode of Time and Again. Let's start with Robin Williams and Gene Shalit, together on Today in 1984.
Hello, welcome once again to the Today Show. And now I'd like to bring on a very dear friend of mine who has been in show business in a wonderful way. Please welcome Gene Shalit. Shalit. Here he is. Take it away, Gene. God bless you.
Well, Gene, thank you. Mr. Shalit, I'd like to ask you your feelings about neo-republicanism and the chance that there will be a Republican convention, and for 4 days, so people have to be guessing who will we elect. We also have a possibility of footage of the actual introduction by President Reagan of the President of El Salvador. Easy for you to say. No.
When you were a kid growing up, a little bitty kid in Michigan, did you watch children's programs on television like Mr. Rogers?
Oh, I love him. He's incredible just because it's a nice day today. I'd like to be on the show, Gene. It's a fabulous thing. Mr. Rogers is president. If Uncle Ron doesn't work out, can you say preemptive nuclear strike?
You came to California from Michigan, where you were a child and grew up. What kind of culture shock did you find when you came to Marin County?
Oh, God, it was incredible. I went from an all-boys private school to like a Gestalt high school. I think one of my professors took acid one day. It was like, I'm Lincoln. I'm Lincoln, forget it. I was like, whoa, it's a different place. It was a very unusual time. It was 1968, so it was always an incredible time. People driving macrame Volkswagens. You know. Come on, Bob, we're going to the beach. We're going to watch the eclipse. It was an amazing period. It was great for me, though. I think that's what kind of made me click over, maybe possibly into comedy.
Do you remember, Robin, the first time you ever performed?
Oh, God, yeah. I was in playing in a club in San Francisco. It wasn't really a club. It was a church. They had a comedy club in the basement. They had comedy after radical feminine poetry. So it was always like, what do you need men for? Your violence, who need this? And now the comedy of. Great, thanks.
What television shows do you like to watch?
Oh, what do I love?
Richard Simmons?
Richard's fun. I think he's fabulous. Ouch! What can you say? Murk it. Ouch! I've seen better lumps than oatmeal. Put them together, make one good one. He's incredible. I watch,
suppose you were the host.
A lot of PBS shows. I watch a lot of Good Evening this week on Masterpiece Theater. Another show involving different sets and old costumes. Join us, won't you? We'll watch now as, oh, Tom, Tom, oh, no, go away. Oh, Bob cried as he opened the door and the glory of his manhood filled the room. Tune in next week. Thank you. I don't know.
Do people bother you? Did they come up to you and...
No, people are real nice. New York is great, too. That was a great story. This guy came up to me and said, excuse me, are you Mork? Are you Mork? I said, no, I'm not really. And then he walked about 15 feet past me and went, well, if you are that guy, get off TV then, you bastard. I was like, whoa!
New York, happy to be here. This city, it wakes you up. It grabs you and says, hey, hello, cough.
I don't know. People in New York are a trip, though. They're really interesting. They're nice. It's nice to see people from, like, especially when you're traveling up and down Fifth Avenue. Oh, my God, fabulous. Hi, how are you? That's a fantastic. Come out to Montauk one weekend. We'll sit around. Well, I don't know, we'll put on some Negro music. The best thing, we'll order some chitterlings. I don't know. I love it, though. New York is amazing.
So what happens if you walk on the street in Los Angeles?
It's a trip. It's more like, hi. I feel like people in Los Angeles is more like, oh, look, it's Gandhi. I can't believe he doesn't fast that much. Gandhi at a studio meeting. Fabulous, this whole thing, the loincloth. I love it. I love what you do. Spinning wheel for the toys. I don't know. In Los Angeles is a whole other thing.
What are the people like in San Francisco?
Oh, that's my home. San Francisco I love, because that's like a human game preserve, you know. There are people in San Francisco that, no place else in the world can you find somebody waiting at a stoplight going, there's got to be another color. It's just too trippy. Red, oh, here comes green, Bob. It's an amazing place. It's the only place in the world. They have real drag races. What are you wearing? It's a great city. I love it. That's why I live there. I live in a place called Napa, which is north of San Francisco. It's like wine country. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Looks like the south of France, but it's very nice.
You like Texas? Do you ever go to Houston or Dallas?
Yes, sir. I played there. It's funny, too. People in Texas don't really heckle. You just hear, better be funny now. Do that routine you do about rednecks. Tell him, Bob, Joe, Jeff, Joe, John, let's watch.
Do you ever do concerts in Europe?
Oh, no, I haven't done one. I played in London. In London, they have two comedy clubs, both of which are with names ripped off from American clubs. There's a club called the Comic Strip, which is like the one in New York, and there's another club called the Comedy Store. That was a trip. It was interesting because the first time I went on, the clubs were either one of two things. They're like either like people going, oh, that's a lovely concept. 2 Jews in a bar. Who knew? Or they can you get the other like a working man's club. All right there. Yeah, yeah, put him on again. Show us your nipples. Come on now. Don't be afraid. Men have nipples too. Come on now. It's a working man's bar and a time when a man can tell you there. And now for the drinking songs of Timothy O'Leary. And we were hallucinating, then I saw, and the time when a man would go. I can imagine the guys in the editing room going, where do we cut to now? Cut to the fish. Cut to the man with the farm report on spam. We'll be right back. Oh, it's all right. Someone get the monitor. Wham! Delco. First time, every time. Oh. I imagine people this time of the morning are going, I don't want to laugh.
Robin Williams in 1984. When we come back, Williams and Shallot together again almost 10 years later as Robin recites his resume at warp speed.
Dan Henry Hansen lives in Lusk, Wyoming.
When I grow up, I want to be a rancher.
He taught his dad how to use Microsoft Excel spreadsheets to manage cattle.
One thing my dad's taught me is not to be afraid to change.
Technology is helping the Hansens ensure that their ranch will still be here when Dan Henry is ready to inherit it.
I always heard that if you have the job you have fun doing, do that for life.
Introducing a must-read book about Florida that will simply take you away. In its pages, you'll find adventure, romance, wonder, and much more. Read by millions, it's a book that has created enjoyment and lasting memories. And best of all, it's absolutely free. The Florida Vacation Guide. To get your copy, call toll-free today. And after you've read about it, go live it.
Good morning, folks. Rise and shine. Time to put on that suit and grab the umbrella, because it's another wet morning. Could be ice by afternoon. In financial news, retail sales are way up, but gold is taking a dramatic plunge. Traffic is bumper to bumper, so you're going nowhere fast. Better get ready to face the music. It's a real jungle out there. My advice, light a fire and curl up with a good book. This report brought to you by the Sarasota area and its Gulf Coast islands, Florida's cultural coast. Call for your free visitor's guide.
Over 35 years experience, multi-million-dollar awards, individual attention. Spiegel, Brown, and Fischera.
And the particular attorney I had in this large firm shown me to be nothing but a fighter. And he was diligent in his efforts, and he won.
Your case, whether big or small, requires personalized attention from a lawyer at every stage. Call Spiegel, Brown, and Fischera, your personal injury lawyers.
Marist College basketball on Media One's Channel 6, brought to you by Joe's Italian Marketplace and Ellis Law.
Robert, we only have about a minute left. Could you tell me, biographically, your entire life?
Here's my whole life. I'll encapsulate it for you. Okay, I took this improv class. It was fabulous. I had a really good time. But my economics class was down the tube. I remember I tried to stay up all night taking a lot of coffee. Basically, I wrote my whole economics plan on one line. Doesn't really go very well when he's going, what's this black line? My final. Thank you very much. You're out of here. My dad said, come home. I'm not going to pay for that stuff. Oh, we can't say that. I'm not going to pay for that stuff. Okay, come back home. I come back home. I go to junior college. I start studying acting there because it was a great junior college, because at the time they hadn't had Proposition 13. For those of you in California, you know what I'm talking about, because that's an incredible thing. That's basically when they said the property taxes. Out of here. Bye. Okay, and the schools went, woo. But then I was taking the school, and I did really good. I stayed to basically a junior college, which is 2 years, but I stayed there 4. Surprising, but it's California, dude. Okay, then we moved from there. I went to Juilliard, incredible school, acting school. Basically, we know about that. John Houseman, Mr. Williams, the theater needs you. I'm going off to tell Volvos. Then we went from that, and then I started studying acting there, putting on tights so you can tell what religion I am. And then I'm doing like Shakespeare, Tennessee Williams, Mendacity. I feel like drool on a dog's lip. And then I started doing all sorts of other things. And Houseman, and I said, hey, you're great, stay. And then I finally went, no, I'm in love. I'm going home to San Francisco. Baby, I'm out of here. Bye. And then I went back to San Francisco, couldn't get in the theater, and then finally said, hey, I'll go into the stand-up clubs and have people go, you suck. And then started performing comedy in stand-up clubs late at night where people are getting shot at. But it's okay. It's just a club. It's just a club. It's comedy. Hey, comedy's easy. Dying's hard. And then you start working your way through that, and then I get a TV series. First one, George Slaughter, Laughing Too. And then we work our way through that, and then I finally get Mork and Mindy. Gary Marshall going, it's not Shakespeare. You'll have a good time. And then eventually I start getting Mork and Mindy. It goes big, big time, big, and there's Pam. And then eventually there's John Winters. And eventually there's a network going, we're real sorry. Bye. And then I go off the network and I do Popeye. There I'm on Malta for 3 months going, rubber. And then I get out of rubber, and then I start doing Clever. The movies like Moscow and Hudson, I'm speaking Russian, and then suddenly I'm working my way through all of that. And then I get nominated for an Academy Award for Good Morning Vietnam, and then they say, like, somebody else wins. Okay. And then you work your way through that, going, and then you're working your way all the way through that, they give me nominated again, they get fish again, and then for like, oh, the Dead Poets Society, and then I do some other movies like, well, we'll talk about Club Paradise. Good movie. Okay, too late now, working our way up slowly towards Fisher King, and then Munchausen, and then Awakening, and then Joyce, and then Mrs. Doubtfluff. And that's what I've been doing for so many years. That was basically my career in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, as of 1993, that is. He's been pretty busy since then as well. Robin Williams, as a boy, was lonely and shy, an only child growing up in a big house in an affluent suburb outside Detroit. He found comedy at an early age and an interest in acting. His break came when he was 25, cast as the alien Mork on Happy Days. The character soon had a series of its own, Mork and Mindy. He began doing movies, Popeye, The World According to Garp, and in 1984, Moscow on the Hudson, which began to illustrate his considerable acting talent.
Interesting thing about Moscow on the Hudson is that it is a very patriotic movie. Mm-hmm. It's really pro-establishment. It's almost Norman Rockwellian in some of its hooray for America, and that's different from the public image of you.
Well, I tried to approach it more from the personal standpoint of him. I tried, it's not like, it's more, I think, what makes his character in the end stay or make it survivable for him is the fact he's in love, and the fact that he has, number one, he's playing saxophone, and he's got a chance to play even if it's on the street, and that he's in love. Not some nebulous concept of like, God, country, and taxation. Come on home, Mama, take anything you need. The Russians are an incredibly tight-knit group of people. And then they are, in many ways, very similar to Americans. And someday, I think people will see that. If they can all say, will you take what's here or what's behind the Iron Curtain? Let's make a detente. An exciting new game show with Henry Kissinger as the host. Hello, Bob. Nice to be here. A fabulous show we have for you today. It's, I look forward to, I would love to visit Russia. I could see them going, we would love to have you, but you're not getting out. we have a Today Show, too. It goes over a period of 8 years, but it's an amazing thing I learned. I had a great time doing this film. It was a good experience in my heart and soul.
That was 1984. 3 years later, Williams landed a role that seemed tailor-made for him in a movie called
Good Morning, Vietnam! People at home going, oh, not that loud. Stop. Even the dog's going, I'm out of here, man.
Good Morning, Vietnam, set in Saigon, before the war really got to be enormous, when Saigon was
1965.
Semi-peaceful.
Yeah.
Only a few bombs here and there.
Yeah.
Were there disc jockeys who were really iconoclastic, the way you are in this movie?
Yeah.
And the military let them get away with it?
They didn't know it. They didn't know what they were saying because they didn't know the references because they were doing references, you know, like here's a sergeant going, well, yeah, okay, fine. That seems there's no references in there.
And do you realize it? Yeah. And then the same officer put out a pamphlet. Don't shoot marijuana. Please. It's dangerous. He had people visions of people trying to shove marijuana leaves in a needle. Don't shoot marijuana. It's a very scary concept.
There are some very funny scenes in Good Morning Vietnam when you are teaching the general population how to speak English. It seemed to me that those people didn't know how to speak English, and they were really listening to what you were saying.
Except for the one man, Wilkie, who could speak very good English but fast. I speak fast so no one understands what you're doing. Don't call me Wilkie, and especially don't call me Milky. No one calls me Milky under the sun. He was amazing. He could speak faster than I can. Even Milky. No, I talk faster than you. You know why? Because I'm better than you. I'm much better than you. I should have your part. But they didn't know me in the central casting. So I have this part instead. He was great. He was the one who had that great speech about baseball. This is not a real baseball. He came up to Barry and said, I have seen a real softball, and this is not a softball.
Well, it was a melon, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a melon. This is a melon, and will not have the consistency you need to play baseball. And Barry said, well, tell Robin that. I cannot tell him that. That will upset him. No, tell him. He won't. I cannot. It will upset him. Oh, and then someone said, this is for movie purposes. Oh, for movie purposes. Very well, I will tell him that then. For movie purposes. If you had told me for movie purposes, I would have done it on my own. But since not for, I will tell him for movie purposes then. Fine, movie purposes. I will tell him this, that this is not a softball, but is a melon of very, very malleable inconsistency. He would throw words in like delicatessen for no reason. Delicatessen? I go, what? That's all I want to say to you. Delicatessen. And I have another word tomorrow, I will say.
When we come back, the royal family, Robin Williams style.
Just performing before the royal family, I couldn't really get... It's very difficult.
What did he mean?
No, shh. I had the strange...
Why did he have to do that?
An impeached president gears up for the Senate trial. Will it be censure or conviction? The experts weigh...
It's about... It's more like backwater stuff. It's like in Saigon in 1965, of wandering around the streets. He meets a Vietnamese girl, tries to pursue her, to go out with her, so ends up teaching an English class to meet her.
Because she's in the class.
Right.
So he teaches English.
Right.
Except he teaches American street language.
Yeah. Basically things you need to get a cab. You know what I'm saying.
Couldn't you do an hysterical hour and never say an obscene word?
I've done it. I mean, just performing before the royal family, I couldn't really get... It's very difficult.
What did he mean?
No, shh. I had the strange...
Why did he have to do that?
What did you do with the royal family? Where were you? Where did you
actually... It was in London. It was for Charles and Diana. No, I should say Charles and Diana. It was for something called the Prince's Trust.
In a theater?
Yeah. It wasn't in their living room.
No, I thought maybe...
I'd like to do a puppet show for you now.
No. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. Oh, Mr. Weasel. We all enjoyed that. No, we didn't do that. Now, I'm never going back to England now. They go, Mr. Williams, oh, fabulous. Don't come in. Go to France. They're opening a Disneyland. That'd be great. If they opened a French Disneyland, I can imagine, what'll Fantasyland be? It'd be full of nice French people. Oh, hello, stay for a while. As soon as you walk out of Fantasyland, get out. Who needs your silly American dollar?
For 3 years you were at Juilliard. They tried to make you into something you weren't.
Well, they tried, put me in tights. You can see what religion I am. Hey, it was like...
They weren't that tight.
Yeah.
Well, they were at the time.
Gene Shalit hasn't been the only one at NBC to go one-on-one with Robin Williams over the years. Today's man in Hollywood, Jim Brown, took a crack at it in 1990.
Looking at press kits, and I love to read press kits because they really hype it up. But they're talking about your career, and they put an adjective in front of every role you've done. See if you agree with this. And then what adjective would you put on this Cadillac man? Popeye, pugnacious character.
This sounds like something from a menu. We have pugnacious potatoes tonight.
Oh, well, then there's Garp, doomed.
Doomed. Doomed from the beginning. Doomed from the first poster.
Moscow on the Hudson, brash.
This is like something you do for a porno movie.
It is.
Brash. Brash, resilient. So if you put them all together, you have, let me just see them for a second. You got brash.
The words are circled.
The circled ones, you have Robin Williams in his new Pugnacious Doomed. Oh, the Pugnacious Doomed, brash, defiant, inspired movie, Deep Bambi. This is incredible. Put them all together and you have, what does this mean? How many times can they use this pugnacious title role? Do you think some guy went, Johnny, you got this thesaurus? Give me to it, come here.
I think you're absolutely...
What do you do with a one-eyed sailor? Pugnacious, put that down. That's real good. Tenacious, now that one we're doomed. Yeah, that's him. Doomed is good for Garp. Brash. The Brash, yeah, Russian, Brash. That looks good. Sounds like brass, but better. Defiant. Yeah, that's good. Defiant. The young, the brave, the defiant. Inspired. Put that in there. And for Cadillac Man, what do you say? Tenacious? No, we've used that before. What do you go with? Salacious. Yeah, salacious. That's it. Go with salacious. That way. That sounds good. Really screw them up that way. Or we can say, you know, go with that one. That was a symbiotic. In the symbiotic role, Cadillac Man.
One movie not yet on that list, Mrs. Doubtfire. Released 3 years later, it would become one of the most popular films of Williams' career. We'll hear about that and about how Williams won a fight that good friend John Belushi lost. When Time and Again continues.
Just because you're stuck at work.
Welcome back to Time and Again as we take a peek inside the mind of Robin Williams over the years by way of the NBC News archives. Williams has long been known for his brilliant comic style, but he's also become an accomplished actor, and his best roles combine comedy with real human emotion. In 1993, he did it with Mrs. Doubtfire, dressing in drag to become a nanny for his own children. He spoke about the role on Today in 1993 with a somewhat absent-minded Gene Shalit.
I have a real block, and I'm really sorry to admit it.
What?
I can never remember the name of this movie. I keep calling you Mrs. Bumbleshoot.
Mrs. Bumbleshoot.
Mrs. Bumbleshoot.
Mrs. Hellfire.
Hellfire? No,
it's Doubtfire.
Oil something.
Mrs. Oil something?
It's a headline.
Sounds like it. This is like an old Marx Brothers routine. Hey, boss, hey, it's a Mrs. Bumbleshoot. No, that's no good. Hey, Stuffy. No, it's a Mrs. Doubtfuzz. No, that's no good. What is it like? A Mrs. Stoutfire. No, too late. That's California. Okay, what are you thinking? Mrs. Doubtfire. That's it, bingo. Hey, get out of here, Mangravitti. You're bothering me.
So the name of the movie, therefore, is Mrs. Doubtfire.
Right.
Okay. Mrs. Doubtfire began as a children's book in England.
Yeah. By Anne Reese, I think. It's a love story basically about a man and his children. And going through, you know, being separated from them and being so... It's a custody. And in the beginning, he has partial custody of almost negligible custody, where it's just like he can only see them once a week. But for him, that's insane. He's been with them every day of their lives since they were born. He can't imagine being away from them for one day. So he goes and takes a desperate measure to be with them every day.
Daniel, hi.
Could you make me a woman?
Honey, I'm so happy.
And the first thing you do is say, hey, get me Harvey Firestein.
Get me Harvey. Feel like Gloria Swanson. You look like a mother.
You know, and actually the scenes with him we based on the makeup tests. You know, where I tried first, you know, putting on just a wig and makeup and not an attractive woman, you know. The crying game, the road company. Look at me and like, oh God, these wigs. And then we started to go with the black wig like this, and we did, it looks like Kiss of the Cobra Woman. I have no sister. And then we get into the nose, it became Margaret Hamilton. Now, you're in a little prosthetic still. I'm melting. The lights are hot. Then we put a chin on it. It was Margaret Thatcher. And all of a sudden, I miss you, Ron. Give her up. Just say no to her. And then we put on a full face, and slowly the wig and the bodysuit and the stockings. And it got to be almost a little bit like Bon Appetit. And we're working our way slowly north, and we changed the voice up a little bit. And there she was, Euphigenia Doubtfire, a sweet gentlewoman so nourishing and genteel that she could breastfeed a scorpion, but still could get out there and hand wrestle a German paratrooper and say, give it up, you Nazi bastard. She's the Trojan housekeeper, and there I am inside going, hey kids, I'm home.
We always watch Dick Van Dyke.
Well, not anymore.
How long was this every day?
3.5 hours. Some days 4. I mean, because it depends. It just depends on makeup pieces. If you leave them, if they're not fresh.
And a good fresh piece of makeup is like a nice locks. It sits on your face in the right places, and you're going, give me some cream cheese, I'm happy. It sits there, and it becomes part of you. And after a few hours, it's like House of Wax outtakes. Or maybe Reagan at home right now. Mommy, I think we shouldn't go out in the sun anymore.
Did you ever go out in the street as Mrs. Doubtfire?
I did, and I walked into
in San Francisco, where we shot sometimes in North Beach, there's some unusual shops. And you walk into a head shop, you know, these things with these posters, and the guy behind the counter slightly with a map of Iowa for eyes. And he's got all these hash pipes, and he's like, can I help you?
Yes, the bong. the supercharger. How much for the supercharger with the giant hash pipes there? What is that one like? We have a mahjong group, and we just want to play a little bit slower. 3 no-tile trump over there. Our mahjong group gets together and smokes a few bowls. And funny how we're there for a whole month.
Robin Williams with Gene Shalit, November 1993. A few days earlier, NBC's Tom Brokaw and Katie Couric played host to Williams. They asked him about an issue in the news then, NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, opposed, as you'll recall, by a certain feisty Texan named Ross Perot.
How about NAFTA? Got any thoughts on that tonight?
Let me finish. Can you just let me finish? I was on run before. Can you let me finish right now? I mean, I can kill that snake right now. I can kill it just by looking at it because I'm so damn ugly. Now, can I say that right now? Now, people say to me, they say, Ross, what you hear the sucking tail. You want to hear the tail. Come on, everybody, yeah. What do we eat here?
NAFTA.
Is that Ross or Walter Brennan?
Boy, transitioning. NAFTA. You're soaking in it.
What is with this NAFTA you're soaking in it stuff?
It's a lovely product. It's more than that. It's free trade. Call after 5. Right now they're voting. I mean, soon. What is it?
Right.
The vote
at the moment.
At the moment?
President's got the votes.
He's got it?
Yeah.
I guess going door to door and pictures, and that's a lovely thing.
Right.
Bill and Hillary, they got it together. And right now Ross is going, I know where you live. Click. I'll be saying, now, you think this is not the end of me. You have not heard the end of me.
All right. If Ross Perot didn't exist, don't you think we'd have to invent him, probably?
Yeah, I think he is God's gift to comedy after Dan Quayle. I think, you know, when Dan rode off, we went, oh, too bad. But then all of a sudden there's Ross going, hey, I'm part mongoose, part Ferengi. Ready to go any moment now. But, you know, he was there to he actually turned the debate into, I wanted to watch the debate to find out really what it was about, and he turned it into like a World Wrestling Federation. It was like, you're a liar, I'll tell you right now. 85 million people below the poverty line in Mexico. No, excuse me, time out. There's only 85 million people in Mexico. Oh, okay, okay, here we go again.
That's the value of Robin Williams. He can remind us that there's humor to be found in everything, even a debate on trade between Ross Perot and Al Gore. When we come back, Williams talks about how he got off drugs and remembers his friend, John Belushi.
The controversial video the entire nation is talking about is now available.
Everybody knows that you were one of the last people who saw John Belushi, whom we all loved here on this show, alive. And then there was a lot of business with you afterwards. Did that death affect you personally in any way? Did you change in any way because of what happened to John?
I think it was a sobering thing. Just like the question. It's like this, boom. You know, yeah, I think I changed a lot of myself. I kind of straightened up real quick. It was like, hey, come on, come here. You know, and I kind of started realizing, and you know, how fast I was living, and just stopped.
Did you really stop?
Yeah, I had to. And I felt after I had a child, and that really stopped me.
Bobby, come here, you're drunk. Robin Williams' decision to clean up his act in the early 80s was a turning point in his life, brought on by the death of his close friend, John Belushi, and later reinforced by the responsibilities of fatherhood. He and Shalit returned to the subject again in 1987.
Is there a point in your life where you said, hey, this is trash, I'm going to start over, have a rejuvenated redemption life?
5 years ago. Yeah, I kind of went, oh, okay. You have a choice, and then you pick your ass up and go on. Can you say that? Yes, you can. Too late, we did. But,
I mean, that's where you were using illegal substances.
Well, people said, did you have a cocaine problem? It wasn't a problem. Everybody had it. I think that you have to, you have a choice. You look and go, you can keep going this way.
But is it like that? Did you suddenly wake up, or at some moment?
No, you're awake most of the time. You didn't suddenly wake up. You were awake every day. Hey, daylight. Even your dog's gone, listen, man, I'm out of here, okay? Here's some kibble. I'll be back in a week. You have to look at it at a certain point. I mean, it's just, you have a choice, you know?
But it wasn't a blinding revelation all of a sudden. It was gradual.
Yeah, it was a blinding revelation. Well, the initial one was looking at your face going, ooh, look, the Elephant Man, the home game. It was something that hit me, and then the processes of just saying, okay.
But then do you think that maybe a lot of your creativity went away with it?
No.
Are you afraid that it would happen? That's what I mean.
No. I mean, at first there's an initial fear that I'll become very normal and end up being a Jehovah's Witness, knocking on the door going, I know it's 5 o'clock in the morning, but I'd like to talk to you about eternal damnation. No, I don't think you have that initial fear, but then what actually happens is you become more creative because actually your mind can put thoughts together again. Verbs aren't blocking at your teeth. And you can speak again, you start to become a little more articulate, and you start to see things around you again, which was great.
That was 1987. 6 years later, soon after the death of River Phoenix, Robin Williams returned to the subject of drug abuse, this time with Tom Brokaw and Katie Couric.
When John Belushi overdosed and died, your good friend, it was a wake-up call for you, and you went kind of cold turkey with whatever problems you'd had with drugs and with alcohol. Then we just had this incident recently with River Phoenix, and the autopsy is that it was cocaine and heroin. When do people begin to understand what they're playing with and the danger of all of that?
Oh, God. Bringing back that memory. Obviously, it's still out there. I mean, it doesn't go away. It's always pervasive, especially in Hollywood, and, you know, it's everywhere. I mean, cocaine is, you know, it's a national pastime.
Does that surprise you at this point?
Yeah, it seems to me, but also, you know, that it still exists because it's cocaine. I found cocaine was a way of people controlling you, you know, and that's why I stopped. I just didn't want to have that, you know, other people going, you know, calling up someone at 4 in the morning going, hi, you still awake? I also didn't want to be, the basic thing that really sobered me up was that I was about to have my first child. I didn't want to be going, hey, here's a little switch. Daddy's going to throw up on you, okay? You know, I wanted to be aware of that. But why don't people know about it? I mean, they do know, but yet there's still kind of that thrill of it all. You know, it's always something else. Hey, psst, come here, pal. Hey, what are you afraid of? Come on, man. It's also part of that mystique of being, you know, beyond the edge. You know, being, whether it's an actor, musician, or whatever, living that kind of life.
Some people said that you used to be involved in drugs, Robin, because it was the one time where you could sort of unwind and not have to be funny.
I used to be involved in drugs because I used to make a joke about it. I said, ooh, paranoid and impotent. What a great evening. If I was on cocaine right now, we'd be doing the entire interview like this. So I'd be over here at the window going, they're coming. I'm okay. Excuse me, Tom. I'll be right back. But, you know, it was my only chance really to shut down so that I didn't have to deal with people.
How do you shut down now with no drugs and sort of relax and not have to be on all the time?
I just had my son, Cody, come up and go, sit down, sit down, sit down.
And do they?
Yeah, he just grabs me. He just says, sit down now. I'd like to talk to you about college. At 2, you know.
I read somewhere that your kids get sort of tired of you doing voices nonstop. Did they say, stop doing voices so much, Daddy?
This is frightening. Yes, they do sometimes. They go, please, Father, that was very good. I mean, they actually get very, very Hollywood about it. It's like, that was very good, Dad, but God, we really have to find some new ones, okay?
Entertaining his kids was a big reason why Robin Williams became the voice of the genie in Aladdin in 1992. Williams worked for scale on the film, but stipulated that his voice not be used for commercial tie-ins. Disney violated that agreement, and Williams said he'd no longer work for them. A few years later, all was forgiven.
What got me back was them apologizing and just saying, hey, we violated something, and admitting it publicly rather than just, you know, calling them and say, we're sorry.
Robin, here's the deal. If you come back, I'll give you a red skeleton painting this time.
Hey, people, oh, you want a hug over here?
When they did that, it was like an acknowledgement. I said, that's all, thanks, I'll be back.
Disney executives were so glad to have Williams back that they threw out and reanimated 1/3 of the new Aladdin to include their star's legendary gift for ad-libs.
Definitely an oracle.
Maybe I could do it.
Okay, let's see.
Isn't that right, Bob?
That's right, Bing.
What could possibly go wrong? Thank you very much.
And Williams says whatever happened between him and the studio, it never changed his feelings for the role that's generated $1 billion worldwide.
I love doing this character. I mean, it's a great honor to be able to make a character that's now in people's memory banks from like, and when Chuck Jones said, you know, this is a character just like mine, I went, oh, that's like coming from the source. It's like going to the source of the Nile, going, you have done one of them.
And your name is?
I'm Thor. You're Thor? Well, it hurts. Once again, this whole broadcast has been brought to you by Stan. It's everywhere. Get used to it.
Stories that move you.
The doors and windows are locked and you can't get out.
Investigative reporters.
Your choice of a lot of different roles. Why you say yes to something like this?
Because it's probably the closest thing I'll get to an action movie. I mean, seeing me with, you know, heavily armed going, I'm ready. No, but I think this I can do. This Texas Chainsaw Circumcision, I think that might be the other one.
He's a moil. He's angry. He's back.
I think that's what appealed to me about it.
Did you really want to do an action film at some point?
Yeah, but I don't really think that I could pull one off. I'd be more in the kung fu movies, the guy who's badly dubbed. Your master is no good. You must leave here now. Or just do like Steven Seagal.
Watch out.
What? What? Or Stallone, you know. I am the law. What? I am the law. What? I am the law. You're the law. Okay. You're going to put subtitles now. What happened? He had a vowel movement. Like, so I don't know. Just those big guns. I don't want to carry them. Ouch! Oh! It went off! Can we do it again? No, I don't know.
Not for you.
Not for me.
That was 1995. Robin Williams' next film was about as far removed from an action movie as you can get. The Birdcage, in which Williams was outrageous, hilarious, and gay.
You were in one of the big hits earlier this year, The Birdcage, where you played part of a homosexual couple. Were you surprised at how successful this movie was in mainstream America?
I just knew it was funny. I mean, I knew that if it was that funny, then I think people would go. You know, it's interesting, that it would kick like that. I had no idea that it would do that well, but I knew that it was funny. I knew that it was like the type of thing where that if there are enough laughs that people might go again to try and pick up what they missed the first time.
I want a palimony agreement, and I want one now.
Well, I don't have a palimony agreement on me right now. Is tomorrow all right?
Don't use that tone to me.
What was it like for you when you were 10?
I remember this, going from yard to yard with all your friends riding bikes like crazy. And then the tree fort. There was one kid had a tree fort, and we didn't have a copy of Playboy. We had that one really nice copy of National Geographic,
Ooh,
yeah, the New Guinea edition. I'm looking for a girl with 12 neck rings. My slinky love. I don't know. That's like a whole other memory. That's a very difficult thing to explain to a therapist. I don't know why. Where the woman with the plate? But I do have a great memory of that time. I remember riding bikes right about dusk, because that was kind of a great time, because it was just that, but in that time where if you stayed out too late, it's like, oh, you're going to get it now.
That's right, you're in trouble.
Yeah. My dad never spanked me, just dropped his voice 5 octaves. You're back. It's like that movie, The Shout. Oh, don't use that voice. I'll spank myself.
Do you still go from time to time into comedy clubs and do stuff?
I still do, yes.
Yeah?
I even though I went to Joke Enders, I still go.
Why?
That's like a therapist. Why?
Yeah, why?
Because my mother didn't breastfeed me, and a microphone substitutes for a nipple. I don't know. Even Freud was saying, don't go there.
But you went anyway.
Yeah, I did.
You did.
See, that's what makes me. Why, Oliver Sacks says, you have a kind of voluntary Tourette's, really. I go there because it's still a chance to kind of see what's funny. It's like it's a live, it's an instant feedback.
You want feedback? How about an Oscar? Robin Williams talks about his award-winning role in Good Will Hunting when Time and Again continues. Robin Williams made his big screen debut in 1980 in Popeye. 17 years and more than 30 films later, Williams found a dramatic role, that would win him an Oscar as a Boston therapist in Good Will Hunting. He spoke about the film with today's Matt Lauer.
If they're coming expecting wild shtick, I don't want them disillusioned, going, hey, when's he going to do something crazy? Because it's a very kind of, a very interesting, tough character, and I don't want them to expect something else.
But have you gotten to the point where, in your comic career, where you almost have to apologize for the right not to be funny?
Wow, there's a lot going on in that.
I don't know if I even hit a comma in there.
Yeah.
I just kind of kept going,
Well,
didn't I?
I'll wait for punctuation. Apologize for the right not to be funny. Whoa! In the dictionary under redundant, it says, see, redundant. I think there's times you just have to, I got to do this one because it's so powerful that I just had to take the chance. And it isn't, I don't have to apologize for it. I'll just say, this is what it is. It's a great, I read it and I found the piece to be so balanced and so strong. And then when I finally met these 2 guys who wrote it, they're in their 20s. And went, no, seriously, who wrote this? And it's, you know, it has such a balance to it, and there's depth of experience they talk about that you go, how did you know about this? And they seem to have captured something very special.
Are you critic-proof at this time?
No. Oh, God, no.
Well,
I'll take you back a couple of months.
Well, wait a second, though. You've done some movies that have not been critically acclaimed. However, people, especially the funny ones, go to see you be funny. I mean, Jack was not critically acclaimed, but it made money.
It made money, but because the bottom line is it had a certain sweetness that, you know, kids and parents related to. I mean, even though that people found it sentimental or whatever, that still people went and enjoyed it. You know, it's, no, not critic-proof.
But will those same people who go see you be funny no matter what the movie go to see you be serious no matter what the movie, even though I think this is a great movie?
Well, I mean, Dead Poets Society was a serious movie. Awakenings was a serious movie. I've done them before. It's not like some shock. Garp was a serious movie. You know, sometimes with comic overtones. Moscow on the Hudson. I mean, I've done it before. Seize the Day. I've done different things in the past, so it's not like the first step there. So if the movie works for them, and it's a supporting role.
A supporting role for which Robin Williams received an Oscar as Best Supporting Actor. 20 years after breaking into showbiz, being awarded for his dramatic as opposed to his comedic skills. Before we go, one last look back with Robin Williams and Gene Shalit in 1983. 5 years after Williams became a star.
3 weeks after Unmarked, you're on magazine covers, you're the hottest thing in the country. Did it all happen too fast for you looking back? Do you wish it had happened more slowly?
Over a period of like 10 years?
Yeah, like me.
No, but
20 years.
I'm glad the money happened fast. That's best. It was like, no, it was a touch fast. It was strange to find yourself on the cover of Time and looking in the Enquirer and go, oh, I'm doing what with a chinchilla? And they mad it in the chinchilla, not me. That's not even the chinchilla's going. I don't know how I got with him. What does the Ferret's family say? I don't know.
If you met a young comic who you thought had a lot of talent, and you thought he might burst like you did, what kind of advice would you give him?
No, I've tried to help some people. I would say take time. Just enjoy. I would say keep performing as much as you can, because that helps. That's been my release.
Robin Williams' need to find a release has provided a wealth of entertainment for the rest of us over the years. Those of us who are not as funny or as talented as he is, and that includes just about everybody, can be thankful for that. That's time and again for now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jane Pauley, and we're history.
They took up my nude scene with a crocodile, which I thought had a lot of potential. There is love with luggage. We had a moment, the gator and me. Sorry. The coffee again kicking in.
Here's to everybody that edited. We're having fun here, folks. I'm sorry if it's a little early for you. Right now, here's Willard.